Hello everyone, and welcome back to our channel. Today, I want to share a beautiful story that reminds us to never stop chasing our dreams. So get comfortable and let's dive deep into the ocean. Deep in the blue heart of the ocean, there lived a small silver fish named Namoa. She wasn't like the other fish. While they were content with the familiar currents and coral reefs, Namoa was a dreamer. Every single night, as the rest of the ocean world fell asleep, she would quietly swim up near the shimmering surface. She'd gaze at the countless stars twinkling in the dark sky above. "They're so beautiful," she would whisper to herself, her voice a tiny ripple in the water. "I wish I could just touch one." The older, wiser fish would sometimes see her and laugh softly, a sound like bubbles popping. "Silly Namoa," they'd say. "Stars aren't for fish. The sea is our home, our whole world. You should stay where you belong, where it's safe." But Namoa couldn't shake the feeling. Their words didn't dim her curiosity. She couldn't stop wondering about the world above the waves. What did the air feel like? How did the light from the sun and moon look without the water to filter it? What was it like to be under that vast, endless sky? Her heart was in the sea, but her soul longed for the stars. Then, one day, the calm ocean turned angry. A terrible storm struck with a mighty force. The waves roared like giant sea monsters, and bolts of lightning flashed, briefly turning the dark water into a blinding white. The currents became a chaotic mess, and poor Namoa was tossed and turned, completely helpless. She was swept far, far away from her cozy coral home. When the storm finally passed, she found herself in a quiet, isolated lagoon. A tall, narrow wall of rock separated her from the open sea she knew so well. Days turned into nights. The water in the lagoon grew still and uncomfortably warm. Worst of all, there were no other fish. For the first time in her young life, Namoa felt a profound and aching loneliness. But even in her solitude, she didn't lose her spirit. At night, she'd look up through the crystal-clear surface. The sky seemed so much closer here, the stars so bright and inviting. She felt like if she just reached a little, she could almost touch them. A spark of an idea ignited within her. Maybe this is my chance, she thought. It was a crazy idea, a fish's foolish dream. But what did she have to lose? So she backed up as far as she could. She gathered every ounce of strength in her tiny body, her fins beating against the water. She swam faster than she had ever swum before, a silver arrow pointed at the sky. And then she leaped. For one breathtaking, shining second, Namoa was airborne. She was out of the water, suspended between the sea and the sky. She was surrounded by the cool night air, and the stars weren't just above her, they were reflected in her wide, wondrous eyes. She was flying. Then gravity took hold, and she splashed back down into the lagoon. She was exhausted, her little body aching, but her heart was glowing. She hadn't actually touched the stars, not really, but for one magical moment she had reached for them. And that feeling, that single moment of courage, was more than enough. It filled her with a joy she had never known. The very next morning, as the sun began to warm the rocks, a kind fisherman happened upon the small lagoon. He peered into the water and saw the lonely silver fish swimming in circles. He saw the longing in her movements. Understanding her plight, he gently scooped her up in a bucket filled with water and carefully carried her back over the rocks. With a gentle splash, he released her back into the vast open sea. When Namoa finally found her way back home, the other fish couldn't believe their eyes. They swarmed around her, their earlier laughter replaced with awe. She told them all about the storm, the lonely lagoon, and her incredible leap into the night sky. She described the feeling of the air and the brilliance of the stars up close. From that day forward, Namoa was no longer just a silly dreamer. She became their storyteller, their inspiration. And this was the lesson she shared with everyone, from the youngest fry to the oldest fish. Dreams aren't meant to trap you in wishing, she would say, her voice full of confidence. They're meant to lift you up. Even if you don't quite reach them, the journey of trying will make you swim farther and become stronger than you ever imagined. And that's the story of Namoa, I hope it inspires you as much as it inspires me. Remember to always reach for your own stars. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this story, please give this video a thumbs up, leave a comment with your dreams, and don't forget to subscribe for more content like this. See you in the next one.